Welcome into Minnesota Vikings Now. I am your host, RC Maxfield, and right now, the talk of camp has been the offense, whether that has been the quarterbacks going on the COVID list or the wide receivers. And Justin Jefferson, he's hurt, but it looks like it's headed in the right direction. But the real talking point of today's video is who's the wide receiver 3? And it looks like it might be KJ Osborn, the second-year wide receiver out of the University of Miami, was a fifth-round pick in 2020. And according to multiple reports, he is the clear-cut Vikings wide receiver 3 for week 1 of the preseason. Now, does that hold out to week 1 of the regular season? We're not sure. But you think about what the Vikings have at the wide receiver position outside of Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson, it's not very inspiring. Now, I do have Dede Westbrook as that wide receiver 3 right here because I think that is how it will end up. But right now, technically, Osborn is in the lead for that spot. You did lose a couple of guys, and Johnson in particular, with the ACL injury, and you have a couple of guys like Chad Beebe, for example, that has played a little bit for the Vikings, but right now he's been uninspiring in training camp according to a lot of reports. So when you look at it, Adam Thielen is the clear-cut number 1, at least on the depth chart, right? Then you have Justin Jefferson, who is dealing with a shoulder injury right now, who in all honesty probably is the number 1 and should be the number 1 moving forward. But it's a good problem to have when you have a 1A, 1B type situation. The big question, though, is that going to be Dede Westbrook at the wide receiver 3, or will it be Osborn? For me, again, outside of Thielen and Jefferson, the wide receiver core just isn't good, right? That's just simple and plain. There's a lot of question marks, and some of that is due to injury, right? That's just how it is. With Bisi Johnson out for the year with a torn ACL, that is a big hit to the wide receiver core for the Minnesota Vikings. Now, you do love it when your starting quarterback, Kirk Cousins, comes out and says this about KJ Osborn. He's running by people. Says that he's taking a step in the second year because he can, quote, just go play now that he understands the system. I think that's huge in the sheer fact that when you look at what is going on in the offense right now, there's a lot moving in terms of, you know who the 3 main guys are on your offense, right? That is going to be Justin Jefferson. That is going to be Adam Thielen. And obviously it's going to be Dalvin Cook in the backfield. But outside of that, who steps up? And it is a good step in the right direction for KJ Osborn to be in that wide receiver role. But the big thing for me is Dede Westbrook's got to elevate his game, right? This is a guy that's been in the NFL a long time, was a Heisman contender out at OU. He's got to elevate his game in the North for Skull if the Minnesota Vikings want to have that third option. I truly believe it will be Dede Westbrook. But predict it for me. Who will be the Vikings wide receiver 3 in the regular season week 1? Type KO for KJ Osborn. Type DW for Dede Westbrook. You know my thoughts. I think it's going to be Dede Westbrook. I think he just brings the most to the table, and I'm curious to see how they use him out of the slot. Speaking of quarterbacks, Mond, QB3? Kellen Mond. This was kind of a shocker right here. The second-round pick out of Texas A&M. He has missed parts of camp on the COVID-19 list, but Jake Browning was listed as the Vikings quarterback 2 on the unofficial depth chart going into preseason week 1, which is a bit surprising if you ask me, in the sense that you draft a guy in the second round in Kellen Mond who played really well last year at Texas A&M, and some would even say they were snubbed out of the college football playoff, and he put them in a really good spot. You look at the completion percentage, yards he had as a passer, TDs, interceptions. He really didn't turn the ball over that much. But I really like what Kellen Mond has done in terms of elevating his game, right? When he was at Texas A&M, there was a lot of question marks in terms of, is he even going to be a pro quarterback? Now you take him in the second round, and I like what he could potentially bring to the Minnesota Vikings. The one problem is there's been glowing reports out of camp about Jake Browning, the QB out of UW. Up in Seattle, right? Who would have thought that Jake Browning, a guy that they really just brought in and almost gave a lot of reps to just because they did have 3 quarterbacks on the COVID list in Cousins, Mond, and Stanley. Now he has a chance to win that quarterback 2 job, and the coaches are falling in love with him. So let me know, will Kellen Mond be the QB2 week 1? Not week 1 of the preseason, week 1 of the regular season. Type Y for yes, type N for no. I'm leaning towards yes, but hey, we've seen crazier things in the NFL.